Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. We're starting with some volume review. So this is stuff that's hopefully you've received in the past few years, but we're just going to do a little bit of review. What is volume? Volume is the space inside of a shape, and the units we're going to use are cubed. So if I told you like centimeters is our units, then we're going to label it centimeters cubed. Now, the general volume formula for all prisms and cylinders is V equals big B times H, where big B is the area of the base. And H is height. So we're going to find the area of the base and multiply it by the height. So let's start by finding the volume of this composite figure. So what I can see from here is there isn't really a set shape that this is. That looks like it's a combination of two different shapes, actually. If we cut it down right here, I can see that we have a square prism on the left, and I know it's square because this is 5 and this is 5, and there's a right angle here, which means this is 5 and this is 5, which means it is a square, and it is a prism because the sides are rectangular. And then over on the right side, we have a triangular prism. Got the triangle base here, rectangular faces. So this is a triangular prism as well. So we are going to split this shape into two and then find the volume of both parts. And then we'll add it together. So let's start with the volume of the square prism. So I know we have V equals big B times H. And V equals, well, the big B represents the area of the base. So that's going to be length times width. And then we're going to multiply it by height as well. So I can see that our height is 5. Our width is 5. It is not 8. Excuse me. 8 represents the entire bottom, but we don't care about the entire bottom. So 5 by 5, and then the length, or the width, however you want to look at it, is 6.3. I can tell because that is down here. And all three of these, this has to be the same length for all three of them. So this is going to be 6.3 times 5 times the height of 5 as well. And one thing I want to mention, some people would argue that the length was 5. Some people would argue that the length was 6.3. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have the correct three side lengths, you're going to be completely correct. So just focus on getting the right through measurements, and not so much that you're putting them in the right spot. So if we multiply all three of these together, the volume of the square prism is 157.5 centimeters cubed. And so now in red, we're going to find the volume of the other shape, the square or the triangular prism. And so V equals big B times H, but again, the big B means the area of the base, and so I know this is length times width divided by 2. That is how to find the area of a triangle, and times by the height. Whoops, times by height. And now if we plug these numbers back in, if I look over here, the height is still the same. The height is going to be 5 still. The width is just this segment right here. If we know that this segment right here is 5, that tells us that this one has to be 3 because the total is 8. And the length of it is still 6.3. So we are going to do the height, or the triangular part is the 5 and the 3 here. And so this is going to be 5 times 3 divided by 2 times the height of 6.3. Now, the height is 6.3 because technically this is laying on its side. The height is always going to be the long portion here that is not on the base. So you could see that the base is this triangle here. This is the base of our shape. And so to find the area of the base, we have to use the height here and the width here. And then this makes it the last measurement. But again, if you were to put that 6.3 on the inside, it's not really going to change the problem. So 5 times 3 is 15 divided by 2, 7.5 times by 6.3. The volume is 47.25 centimeters cubed. Alrighty. So from this point now, we need to go ahead and add these together. And if we do that, 157.5 plus 47.25, and let me type that into my calculator. That gives us 204.75 centimeters cubed. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on. This is a cylinder, and I've got the formulas up here for cylinder. Really, the key one that you need to note is this one. Volume equals pi r squared times height. It is the same exact thing as this one, except for it just expands on it for us without us having to do it. The base here is a circle, and the area formula for a circle is pi r squared. And so we can use the V equals pi r squared times height formula. Where our radius, we can see is 7, our height is 16, so if we plug these back in, it's pi times 7 squared times 16. 7 squared, I know, is 49, times 16 is going to get us 784 pi. This is what we would call the exact answer. The exact answer means you are leaving it in terms of pi. Now, if you wanted to multiply by pi, you would multiply by 3.14. So V equals 784 times 3.14, and that would give you 2,461.76. And these units are inches, so we'll have inches cubed and inches cubed. So these are the two different kinds of answers. It asked for the exact, so this is the truest answer here. But the other answer is technically good as well for the volume here. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and pause this video and try to find the volume of this one. Alrighty, so you should have written out your equation, pi r squared times height. And now the problem, it gives us diameter. So diameter is 24 here, which means the radius is going to be 12. And we're going to times that, or square it, times it by 11. So 144 times 11 is going to get us with 1,584. And then, oops, I wrote a V here. I should have wrote a pi symbol. And it's going to be pi kilometers cubed. And again, I left mine in terms of pi. If you did not leave yours in terms of pi and you wanted to multiply this, or you wanted to multiply by 3.14, you would have gotten 4,973.76 kilometers to K in cubed. And that's how you would do this one. Just make sure you read the directions. If it asks for the exact, you'll want to leave it like this. And if it asks for the estimated, you would write it as the second one. When you type it into your calculator, we'll be using pi on different problems, like when we get to cones here in a little bit. When you type it into your calculator, do not use the pi symbol. Use 3.14. The pi symbol will get you a slightly different answer than 3.14, and I just want to be consistent with everybody. We all use just 3.14 if we're going to be multiplying by pi. Alrighty, and that's going to do it for this first set of notes. Go ahead and move on to the second video over this next part with the pyramids